Hello, good morning, everyone. So we're here Thursday morning for Rise Up. Unfortunately, Milhan and Iris can't join us. They're both in transit with some other things they need to attend to. I think Iris is going to school. You can hear my son in the background. He's calling for me, but hopefully he'll be, my husband Sarah's to take care of him. Unfortunately, he likes me better, but yeah. But we have Ricky at least. So Ricky's here to at least share our UN updates. So I don't have the exactly good news updates to share like Iris says, but I do have our newest reports coming from our international and regional representatives of YSP. So I just came from that meeting this morning. So it's been a flurry of a lot of meetings early this morning, but I would like to share that with you, which is there's a lot of exciting new updates on their activities. So I think that'll be inspiring. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Ricky.
Thank you. So for today's UN news, I actually wanted to follow up a lot of the climate action and climate change topic that we've been touching on, and give you all some positive news this week. So recently, there has been a complete end of leaded fuel use. So if you guys don't know, leaded fuel for a long time was used as a replacement for gas for cars. Well, not necessarily a replacement, but it's kind of a way to improve the engine. So for a long time, since it was created, it was in heavy use. But over the years, after research found that it was actually quite harmful to the environment, but also the health of people around, because of the combustion that was created from the fuel. There was a big push by the UN and a lot of big international organizations to completely, get rid of leaded fuel in use of cars. And it wasn't until recently, this year, that it was completely cut from use. I think the last country to use this fuel was Algeria. So recently, Algeria, worked with its fuel companies to completely stop using leaded fuel. And I think this is a really big step in progress in climate change. And I hope it leads to further steps to not only get rid of leaded fuel, but I think it's a good step in maybe creating more or no, environmentally friendly transportation. That's basically the story. I think it's a kind of a cool, I don't know, positive look on the environment, which recently hasn't been so great. But I like to look at maybe some of the more positive things that are going on. So yeah, some kind of hope.
Thanks, Ricky. Yeah, that's good positive news from. So that came from the UN site. They're announcing that basically leaded fuel is now completely not used at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Algeria, last country to have used leaded fuel, and they completely eradicated now.
mhm. Yeah, I don't. I know you're not a fuel expert, but I was curious. Do you know what the difference between like I guess leaded and unleaded? So I know with like going to the gas station, unleaded is typically what I get in my car. But I
Yeah.
don't know that much about fuel. So if it's leaded, I assume that means there's lead in it. But do you happen to know really the difference?
Um, Honestly, I don't. I know it's harmful because of the combustion it creates. There's a lot more CO2 that comes out from that. But also, the news article was talking about the health effects as well. So I don't know the details exactly, but I do know that it affects both health and the environment, which was such an important step. and getting
Yeah.
over that.
I guess like just the fact that it has lead in it. When they talk about lead paint or lead in the water, we know lead is not good for us, health wise. So I
Yeah,
guess if there's lead in the fuel and it's being combusted, then it's ending up in the fumes most likely. So, thank you for sharing that. I have my cat who's joined us over here, so
okay.
he's gonna be listening in and
Just
judging me. All right, so I guess I'll share also the updates now for what's going on internationally in YSP. So hang tight while I try to figure out how to share this window. All right, Ricky, tell me if you can see this.
yeah, I can see it.
All right, cool. All right, so this is what's happening all across the world with YSP chapters. There's a lot of things and activities happening, so I just pulled like a handful or a few from each different region. So this is in South America and Brazil. This is mentioned as one of the flagship programs where they're helping to clean up and revitalize the cities and communities, especially in Sao Paulo. Also, they're doing things like Tungil Mudo, which is a martial arts form in the open air to give something for young people to participate in. And also found out that in Peru, they YSP in Peru was recognized by the government as one of the top organizations that are addressing environmental issues. So that was pretty cool to find out about that. And they're on the environmental page for this government, for the Peru government. In Niger, they are doing a lot of tree planting. So I didn't know, or the person, a representative from the, Africa said that, as you may know, like Niger is like a desert, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So that was an interesting point to learn. But yeah, they're doing a lot of tree planting initiations, so that's really exciting to be able to see the new environment and atmosphere that it's creating. And just interesting things like ideas, like the YSP group in Mali did a blood drive to help their community. And let's see, they also did there's public service in Gabon that was happening, and then the Democratic Republic of Congo. They're doing peace projects for the UN days. There were big major cleanups in the community with young people. And also in the Democratic Republic of Congo, they were also doing tree planting and cleanup. This was also an idea. This wasn't a fundraiser. They did a car wash just so that they could hand out pamphlets and flyers explaining about like what YSP is, but also like peace values and different information. So that was a neat idea that young people can do. And then also volunteer work in Burkina Faso. And in Benin, they did a community cleanup. And these are things happening in like the Philippines. So they're still doing their billion tree planting project. There are several reports. I just grabbed a couple photos of a few. They also had a Leaders Connect celebration for International Youth Day. So what in the Philippines, they're really good at making their flyers and advertisements very colorful and very attractive. So they had a lot of young people participate in this. And then they have the mangrove tree planting, peace designer training. So that's also happening across the country and the world all over the place. They had visits with special needs children as a service project, and in moringa tree planting. And then in Myanmar, they had a celebration for International Youth Day. In India, they had a grand poetry contest to celebrate the 75th independence of the country of India. And then in Thailand, they also have a lot of activities going on for youth. So youth empowerment programs and online programs. And also they had a disaster relief project for collecting donations for food and drink. That's the same thing. And oops. And then here in our North America region, we have Canada. So in July, they held a meal fundraiser where the YSP youth team, they basically took orders for meals and prepared them and then delivered them to friends and family community members who ordered these meals and also came to pick it up. And they were able to raise funds for this. I think I'm trying to remember how much it was, but it was in Canada dollars, but 50% of that they donated to the World Food Program of the United Nations, and then the other 50% they allocated towards future YSP projects they want to do with their YSP youth in Canada. And then for Shine City Project in Las Vegas, they helped out at the Las Vegas Rescue Mission, a homeless shelter there. They're one of our most active groups, and they're doing stuff weekly. And again, in US, we're still doing the fundraiser for the Billion Tree Project. So if you would like to donate, it's still possible. We're going to be trying to send over what we've collected so far by the end of this month to the Philippines, but we're going to continue doing the fundraiser so that we can help support their tree planting. But as you can see, they're still going, they're still planting, they're not waiting for our funds. So we want to be able to send that over right away as soon as possible so that they can quickly utilize it if they need it. And that's what I have so far. There were a lot of reports, there's a lot of exciting and inspiring ideas. So it's definitely giving me ideas on what kind of things that we need to be able to do here in North America, or like, I guess, ideas for young people to also do in our different chapters. So I hope to be able to share that more. Another thing I want to share update-wise, so just a reminder, we do have the Synergy events coming up in October. So the deadline for submission for the New Jersey Waterway one is September 25th, midnight. So if you have an idea or a project that you would like to propose, that's happening. Yep. So this is the second synergy. Yep, here's the first one. This October 2nd on New Jersey waterways. So creative solutions to accessing and protecting New Jersey waterways. This could be a number of different kind of ideas. It could be not only just cleanup or addressing like the sewage and flooding issues, but also accessing. Like a lot of times, young people or community members, they can't get to the river. You can't, it's too polluted to swim in, but you can at least fish and kayak. So, but there's not a lot of areas where that's a public like boat launch or public access to be able to reach the river. So that's another thing. But also education, like things addressing environmental issues, like bringing awareness about what the issues are with the river, because the Passaic rivers and the Hackensack River are major rivers that run through industrial and large community city areas. So that's something to also think about, like what are things that are issues that you see around the river that you would really like to address. And then the second Synergy event that's coming up, this is a national Synergy program open to anyone for October 16th. This is on climate action. So the theme is local climate action initiatives to model and share. What can you do in your community, even if it's a small scale, to just start to help address climate change and try to mitigate it, and how to even bring it to your city and your local community to really empower them or encourage them to be able to start doing something, at least, even if it's like small, even if it's like a better recycling program or having more solar or alternative energy sources, things like that. So there's like many different kind of options, even small things, like even just bringing awareness, education, social media campaign, those kinds of things, just to help address and to mitigate climate change. And the last final thing I would like to mention, actually second to the final thing, sorry, is the Youth Heroes Awards. So as you might have heard from before, last year we had Youth Heroes Awards for 2020. That was the first time we were launching this. So this is now an annual award that we give to 2 young people in each nation that has a YSP chapter established officially. And this is to recognize a young person who has made a positive impact in their community and should be recognized and noted. So we are open to nominations right now. So you can go to our website, yspUSA.org, and go to our projects and awards. And you can nominate someone that you think should be recognized. And this is also, you would receive a medal, a certificate, but also a cash grant for your work. So this is an opportunity to recognize, but also receive something in recognition of your work. The deadline for submissions is going to be December 1st. So you have roughly 2.5 months to be able to submit a nomination. So you can't nominate yourself. Of course, there's that rule. But this is open to any young people, any young person under the age of 40. So, and then final last thing, unfortunately, there's no image, but we are going to be having an Youth Ambassadors for Peace certificate appointment opportunities. So this is for young people who believe in the same values as YSP, but also our partner, Universal Peace Federation, who created the original Ambassadors for Peace appointments or certificates to be able to give to people who are doing work in their communities or globally or nationally for the sake of peace and believe in the same values and standards and importance of peace. So this is the youth aspect. So YSP partnered with UPF to be able to create this certificate, and we'll be launching this soon. So just a heads up, everyone, on that. So you have the opportunity to receive this recognition or appointment by applying to be able to become an official youth ambassador for peace. That's all I have. But Ricky, I don't know if you want to share anything. A lot of this information was new to you too, because I just came out of that meeting this morning.
Yeah, no, I just really appreciate, that we're able to hear all these updates. I mean, it gives me a lot of ideas for what we can do, but also think it, sets kind of like, oh, these guys are stepping up. They're doing all these things. Like we should be stepping up too and doing more. It's sort of like a motivation kind of thing for me. Like I want to be able to do more as well and represent YSP well here in America.
Great, thanks, Ricky. And I appreciate that you speak slower because I have a tendency to speak really fast. So sorry, everyone, if I'm kind of like blurring past a lot of things. But Ricky's really chill and laid back, so he just kind of helps to swing the mood back into a more relaxed kind of situation. So thanks.
This reflects my personality, my speaking style. Yeah.
That's a good point. I'm kind of a go, gotta do this person. So speaking of which, that's pretty much all we have to share with you today. We hope that you guys enjoyed these updates and news. Hopefully next week we'll have our entire team, well, maybe minus Iris, unless she can change her class schedules, but we hope to see her wonderful face again. And yeah, my son is calling from downstairs. So yeah, he wishes you all a wonderful day as well. And yeah, have a wonderful week and happy Thursday.
All right.